What's up everybody, Anime X here, and in this video I'll be adding a new entry into the ongoing series of What If Minato Survived the Attack on Konoha. Now, just as the title and thumbnail suggests, this is the third part of this video, and the reason that this came out the week directly after part 2 is all because of you guys. In the part 2 of this What If, I got amazing feedback from you guys in the comments, and many of you directly requested a third entry into the series, so this is the result. The same thing applies here, guys. If you want a part 4 to this, hit the like button and let me know what you want down below. Now, since I have a lot of content to cover in this video, I needed to jump right into the recap so we can get this What If going. So, without further ado, let's get started. So in the last part of this series, the final few things that happened were Naruto saving his friends from Orochimaru using his shadow clones, and he decides to fight Orochimaru himself, one-on-one, or more like he decides to jump him with his shadow clones. While this is all going on, an investigation is being led by Anko on the person that Orochimaru is disguised as. This leads to Anko finding out that Orochimaru is in the Forest of Death with the other Genin. He is technically attempting to participate in the Chunin exams. She reports this to Minato, and she begs that the exams are stopped immediately for the safety of everyone in the exams, and so that they can find Orochimaru and take care of the threat immediately. But Minato refuses this offer. Instead, he countered with his own his statement saying that if he just takes out Orochimaru before he does any harm, then everything is fine. Before he could have gotten a response to that, he teleports home to gather some equipment, tells Kushina that he'll be back with Naruto before dinner, and then teleports to Naruto to see if Naruto has seen anyone suspicious or if he's hurt in any way. Little did he know that Naruto could have been fighting Orochimaru himself, and as soon as he sees this, he teleports in the way and shields his son from Orochimaru's onslaught as they prepare to fight. So, while Minato and Orochimaru are squaring off looking for an opening, Naruto asks why his dad is interfering with this fight. Minato tries to explain how dangerous Orochimaru is to no effect, because Naruto, just like in the original, is still stubborn and still wants to prove himself. Then he compares him to Jiraiya in strength, and since Naruto is well aware of Jiraiya's strength in base at least, he knows that Orochimaru is far out of his league. This is also because of the fact that Naruto respects Jiraiya, so he knows if someone is able to take on Jiraiya or even rival his power, then he knows that he probably shouldn't be attempting to take them on by himself. After Minato knows that he doesn't have to worry about Naruto having an outburst and endangering himself, he feels a little at ease until he hears Orochimaru taunting him and telling him that if he was a second later, Naruto would have been killed by him. Since Minato is extremely calm and collected, and he's well aware of this fact, he just accepts that this time he got lucky. But he doesn't care if it was luck or skill. Naruto is safe along with his friends, so if he's not in any position to be manipulated by anger or any other emotion. Minato, while keeping his eyes firmly on Orochimaru, asks where the rest of the team is, and he explains Naruto explains to Minato that the shadow clones that he made got them to safety. This surprises Minato that Naruto was able to think far enough ahead to clear the battlefield. He also was impressed that Naruto was able to summon Gamaken in an instance like this and still fight for an extended period of time. This makes Minato smile inside, when on the outside he's still dead serious and ready to fight. Minato decides to throw out his kunai to get some seals all over the battlefield in preparation for the fight. Then, once the final kunai lands, he makes a Rasengan, tells Naruto to stay put, and charges Orochimaru at full speed. And one thing that has to be said going into this fight is that when Minato is serious, he has killer intent, and it's been shown in his fights against fodder ninja in the war, he kills people without hesitation. Also, Minato without the flying Raijin is still way faster than Orochimaru and has reaction speed that far surpasses even the Raikages. And with this same speed, he charges Orochimaru with a Rasengan and slams it into his face. And keep in mind that Minato's Rasengan are far more powerful and much larger than, say, someone like Naruto's, right? So this sends Orochimaru flying through multiple trees and, far away from Minato and Naruto. Minato is well aware of the fact that a Rasengan won't do the trick against someone like Orochimaru just because of his retarded durability and his ability to regen. So he used the Rasengan to buy enough time to get Naruto to safety. So too little, too late, he realized that Orochimaru had been biding his time with the taunts against him so that reinforcements could help in the tide of the battle. So he turns around to see Naruto being attacked by the 3 Sound Ninja, and they quickly surround a fatigued Naruto who can't do anything to protect himself. So Minato teleports past all of them and teleports to grab Naruto and then teleports away before any of them even realize what's happening. This startles Dosu and Zaku and the other Sound Girl, but this later enrages Zaku, because someone interrupted his fun. And now, since Zaku is so much more hot-headed than someone like Dosu, even though he knows exactly who Minato is and the legends of his speed, he keeps his guard up, and he's basically saying that he's faster than him and he shouldn't have been able to do that, and it was just a fluke. Zaku reacts to this by shooting Sound Blast, hoping to tag Minato while he's holding Naruto. The more and more that Zaku's blast hit nothing, the more and more that Zaku's anger level rises. So on this blast, he decides to go for more power and nothing else. So he cranks his blast all the way up and then fires a shockwave. No longer seeing Minato, he calls Minato a fool for going up against someone like him and says that there's nothing that he's nothing compared to the speed of sound. And as soon as he says this, Minato appears with a kunai to Zaku's throat and says that since they made him release, says that with his speed, he makes even light look slow in comparison, then apologizes and then knocks them all out casually with the girl, Sound, Ninja, and Dosu. He congratulates them because they made him release Naruto because he didn't want the shockwave jolting Naruto in his injured state. Even though it wasn't able to get anywhere close to him, he does congratulate them on their bravery. So he teleports to Naruto and makes sure that he's okay. And now Orochimaru, after getting hit with the Rasengan, is getting quite upset and is a little bit frazzled, you should say. And this isn't just for getting hit with the Rasengan. It's because Minato, of all people, delivered the Rasengan into his face, and this is because of the natural resentment towards Minato, since he was chosen as the fourth Hokage over him. Since Orochimaru is angry, he is a little less patient with his strategies, but he's well aware of Minato's immense speed. Orochimaru is still well aware of Minato's immense speed, so we think that the only way is to either attack him while he's encumbered with Naruto, or attack Naruto the instant that Minato goes to attack him. Minato easily sees through this plot, though, but he sees this as something to his own benefit. And since Orochimaru isn't worried about his defense, then he's basically just allowing Minato to attack, and then he wants to attack as soon as Minato has left Naruto's side, which will make Minato sacrifice himself, basically winning the fight for Orochimaru if this actually works. He basically... all he has to do in Minato's mind is finish the fight before Orochimaru can react, which he thinks he's very capable of doing. So, with this strategy being formed in his head, he throws the kunai out and uses a shadow clone. He makes a shadow clone first and throws a kunai at Orochimaru, and the shadow clone protects Naruto. And as soon as the jutsu activates, he forms a Rasengan, and a shadow clone teleports to Orochimaru, with the shadow clone staying back to protect Naruto, and the real Minato goes to attack Orochimaru. Since Orochimaru is focused on the kunai in front of him and Minato charging, he doesn't realize that through the fight, Minato has basically placed him exactly behind another kunai, which is placed behind Orochimaru. So Minato teleports behind him, places a seal on Orochimaru, and then the fight is basically over, because once Minato has a seal on him, he along with Orochimaru is aware that the fight is basically over. As soon as the seal is placed on Orochimaru, Minato Shadow Clone appears and hits Orochimaru with his kunai along with the real Minato, and through a combination of Rasengan's, kunai, and flying Raijin techniques being used to teleport Orochimaru to them and them to Orochimaru, they basically wombo combo him, and then they get a critical hit with both of the Rasengans landing in his chest. This makes Orochimaru cough up blood and flying through many trees and into the ground hard. The Shadow Clone then picks up Naruto and then teleports to where Naruto's Shadow Clones are, with Sakura and Sasuke getting them to safety. And the real Minato goes up to Orochimaru slowly. He tells him that he made a mistake by messing with his son and all of his son's friends, and with that, he slits Orochimaru's throat, seemingly eliminating the threat of Orochimaru for good. Now, after Orochimaru's defeat, the rest of the Forest of Death in the preliminary matches would go extremely similar to how they do in the original. The few differences are that Sasuke is allowed to use his Sharingan since he hasn't been marked by Orochimaru, making his fight versus that chakra draining guy a lot easier. And at this point in the series, Sasuke hasn't been marked, so he has complete control over his chakra, and no one's really worried about Sasuke's physical well-being right now. And the Naruto versus Kiba fight goes a lot differently because Naruto absolutely stomps Kiba in this fight. And unlike in the original, it's not even a contest between who is going to win. Naruto is clearly has the upper hand in taijutsu, ninjutsu, and just skill as a ninja, so he just kind of demolishes Kiba in their fight. Now, the next few changes that I'm going to talk about are the ones that occur in the 1 month training period between the prelims and the actual tournament itself. So, as soon as the 1 month of training begins, Naruto, Jiraiya, and Minato meet up so that Naruto could be in his training. The first thing that they need to do is figure out what new technique Naruto is going to learn. Jiraiya wants Naruto to learn Sage Mode as early as possible, but Minato would rather him learn the Flying Raijin Jutsu now and Sage Mode later. And since they can't seem to agree on what he needs to do, they ask Naruto what he would rather learn during his 1 month of training. Naruto, being Naruto, says that he wants to learn both, which makes Jiraiya and Minato burst out laughing just because they know they should have expected something that, like Naruto would say, something like that. But they asked Naruto how he would go about doing that, especially since both of those things are extremely hard and not something that everybody can learn. And he responds that he should just use Shadow Clones to speed along the process of learning either Sage Mode or Flying Raijin or both. Naruto explains that he figured out randomly while training with his Shadow Clones that he gets information from them once he deactivates them. So he was wondering if that would work to speed training along as well. Since he wants to test this method out in a more controlled fashion, he asks his dad to make a Shadow Clone, and once he does, Naruto and Minato Shadow Clone go and wander off into the woods far enough where neither of them could be seen. The clones then play rock, paper, scissors, similarly to the situation that happens between Kakashi and Naruto when Naruto works on his Rasen Shuriken, and then they come back and they deactivate, and basically Minato and Naruto are now aware that Minato's Shadow Clone won the game of rock, paper, scissors. With this revelation, Minato and Jiraiya realize that since Naruto has such a vast amount of chakra, he can speed up the rate of his training exponentially, although Jiraiya quickly realizes that this method of training is too dangerous with Sage Mode, because if one clone messes up and deactivates, Naruto will face the physical repercussions of failing Sage Mode. That means that he will, be turned into a sage creature and he'll, fail and die. So with the method of training and what he is learning being decided, Naruto makes 102 Shadow Clones specifically to start, and he starts learning Flying Raijin from Minato. Now the specifics of the training for Flying Raijin are never really specified, but what we do know is that the learning curve is extraordinarily steep. So high, in fact, that even elite Jonin require time to set up the jutsu and need to be connected to each other in a certain pattern just to teleport once. So to start off the training, Naruto's clones form 34 groups of 3 in the same formation that the elite Jonin do, and Minato tells them what they need to do in order to teleport so that they continuously can work on it all day until they either disappear from exhaustion or Naruto collapses from complete and utter exhaustion. And it's on the first day of training where Minato and Jiraiya see firsthand how bad the side effects of the training are, because yes, he is getting more training done faster, but the fatigue of training that that Naruto has is hitting him all at once, because it's like 34 times the amount of training that he would usually get. So it takes a toll on his body all at once, which means that the only reason he's able to even survive this training is just due to the natural amount of chakra that he has and his natural regenerative abilities as an Uzumaki. This training with Shadow Clones continues for the entire month leading up to the tournament. So in the tournament, we'll see exactly how well Naruto was able to learn Flying Raijin in one measly month. And that, everybody, is where I'm going to leave this what if off. And woo, was this one interesting to make. I personally liked imagining Minato completely bodying Orochimaru, which is something that, we went over in this what if. So this was a fun what if to make for me. So I'll definitely be adding more to this series if you guys want more of this. And if you want another part to come out next week, make sure to like the video and let me know in the comments. If you have any what if suggestions or you just want to ask me anime stuff, you can go to the comments as well. If you guys are new to the channel and this is your first time watching one of my videos, I hope you enjoyed your first experience to the Anime X channel, and if you did like the video and haven't already done so, consider subscribing, hitting the bell so you don't miss when I put out more what ifs and add entries to the series. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of my video as always, and wow, as always guys, this is Anime X, signing off.